Hachette Audio presents When It's Ajar, written by Tom Holt, read by Ray Sawyer.
18 eyes were looking at him, with a "who's been sleeping in my bed" expression that he found impossible to forgive. For the first time in his wasp-not-swatting, spider-catching in matchboxes and carefully putting outside life, he urgently wanted to kill a living creature. The fact that it was a minimum of 20 feet long, 9-headed and blatantly supernatural somehow didn't seem relevant. "Either it goes," said a voice inside him, "or I do. And I'm not particularly bothered which." At such times, ignorance can be your friend. Experienced, professional dragon slayers, one immediately thinks of Ricky Vermtoter, former head of pest control at J.W. Wells, or the legendary Kurt Lundqvist, thanks to whose efforts Seattle is now 77% dragon-free, know the risks, the moves, and the distressingly unfavourable chances of survival. Accordingly, they duck, weave, shuffle their feet, wait for an opening, feint, drop into an extended high guard, trip over something and get torched or eaten. Maurice, who had no idea what he was doing, neatly avoided all these pitfalls. He marched up to the dragon, yelled, "Bastard!" at it at the top of his voice, and swung wildly with the bread knife. Part 1. When is a door? Years ago, when he was a child, Maurice refused to go on the underground because he was scared of all the dead people. His father had asked him a few questions and glanced at his bedside table and explained that the underground wasn't the same thing as the underworld that he'd been reading about in his Myths and Legends of the Ancient Greeks book, which his Aunt Jane had given him for his birthday. There were no dead people, 3-headed dogs or sinister boatmen down there, his father promised him. Just crowded platforms, unreliable trains, people in scruffy old coats who talk to themselves, a really quite small proportion of homicidal lunatics, and a rather unsavoury smell. He'd been reassured, though he'd secretly quite fancied seeing a dog with 3 heads, and withdrawn his objection. Nevertheless, even now...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?